Welcome to the Squared Circle Jerks podcast. I am Mike. He is Byron, and we're talking about WWE.
Kick Pod. Sorry, what?
Did you enjoy WWE this week?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were being the elite. It was not bad. Can't say it was bad.
Which
overall, I would say I would give it like a 57% out of 100.
Ooh, that's a little harsh. I'd go like 65.
Well, I mean, the vast majority of it, if you want to look at it on a ratio, you got 2 good hours of programming. They interrupt with commercials per week. Then there's 5 other hours that are usually bad to tolerable. And this time they were tolerable to almost acceptable. So, I mean, on average, you passed, but you didn't get very good marks. And then you had a couple of good shows.
I'd say that's more than a 57, but let's roll it.
I'll give it 58.
All right, so we open up with the WWE Raw with Roman Reigns, baby. Shouts out Dean Ambrose and basically makes it clear that the whole Samoa Joe problem is you mess with the Shield, you mess with one member of the Shield, you mess with them all. And he's going on for a bit, and then Jason Jordan comes out, and this leads to some awkwardness between him and Seth and Roman about whether they like Jason Jordan in a nutshell.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I still think that Jason Jordan is highly underrated because his character at work anyway. He's playing this dude who was like a stand-up guy, like his whole character up until the whole "he's my son" thing was he's a stand-up guy, him and Gable. And then he tried to continue to be a stand-up guy, and then slowly over time he's realized that he can kind of get access to things he didn't have access to before, i.e. title shots, if not at will, then, you know, on at least a two a month basis. And he's like slowly devolving. I mean, the whiny character, it kind of got over the top with the whiny angle for a while, but he's reined that back in. And
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, so it's definitely been interesting.
Yeah, no, I like the storyline. I like how it's developed. I think it's kind of wasted that him and Gable are going heel now. So, in hindsight, breaking up that tag team, didn't really achieve anything they couldn't have done together.
No, that's true. But I am enjoying the fact that they're getting a chance to do... I mean, Shelton Benjamin notwithstanding, he's really helping Gable come along, I think. I don't think that you'd see the same progression between the original American Alpha and what they're doing now. There was no way. And then you can put them back together later on.
True enough, I suppose.
I'd like to see them as a trio, really. I mean, they should just be going out and kicking the shit out of people because they're superior athletes.
Indeed. We had Balor Club come out, and the highlight of this is Jason Jordan getting called a nerd and getting really, really worked up about it. Anyways, Kurt Angle comes out and pulls the Teddy Long. Let's all have a tag match in the main event.
Holla holla, please.
Holla holla, play. Then we move on to Bayley and the Sasha Banks versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville with Paige and Mickey at ringside. I really only have 2 notes about this match, which is basically the ending, which was Mandy Rose getting tapped out with the big statement. And the other thing I have is Mandy Rose did, would you say, like 80% of the work in this match for her team?
At least, yeah.
And that's a really bad, that's an indictment of Sonya Deville that, A, the girl who got a lot more ring time in NXT coming up is not getting the ring time on the main roster. And 2, every time they did like a hot tag spot or kind of a badass spot, it went to Mandy Rose instead of the big scary MMA fighter.
Yeah, the fake MMA fighter thing ain't working.
Yeah, Deville's a mess. She had a couple of good matches for Ruby Riott, but it's... And you know what? And she actually had a decent match with Ember Moon, all things considered. There's something there, but they still don't know how to bring out the best in her, and the main roster's not even trying. They're just kind of like, all right, Mandy Rose is more like what we know how to deal with, so we're going to let her do most of the work, and you can just be there.
Yeah, with what I've seen, you know, what we said about Shayna Baszler last week still kind of stands. There's a bunch of goof-ups and fuck-ups, and they're still kind of doing... Again, we'll get to it all a little bit later, but... There's still some goof ups and fuck ups with trying to adapt MMA to wrestling The only person who ever really did it successfully was fucking Kurt Angle. And it took getting his ass kicked by Daniel Puder to make him figure that one out. But with Sonya Deville, you've got somebody who was never even close to successful in an MMA. And she's never been even close to successful in wrestling. She keeps getting carried through things. I have yet to see her do anything on her own that was any good. Her catchphrase is atrocious, and I think she's been trying to change it lately to something worse, which I completely forget what that is, which is why it's worse. And yeah, it's just that I don't see a future for her. She's going to be one of these people. She might be like the next Alicia Fox, who's either around for forever for no reason and you don't know why she's there, or they just like in a couple of years like it's not working and she's not worth the money and they just release her.
Yeah, I could definitely see that ending happening. We had Goldust give a Mickey Rocky hype up thing for Cedric Alexander. Cedric Alexander is ready. He's in control. And then we also found out that Goldust's partner for the mixed match challenge is Alicia Fox. So that team's jobbing hard.
Oh, so hard.
Then we had Matt Hardy squash Kurt Hawkins.
Yes, wonderful.
And post-match laugh off with Bray Wyatt.
See, I think this is annoying for everybody right now except me because I'm a big fan of running jokes. So I want them to continue this. I want them to, and it sounds, I know I'm going to get some hatred for this, but endless repetition equals endlessly funny. If you tell the same joke, like if it's like that's what she said. It was really funny. And then it stopped being funny because everybody was using it. And then it was hilarious again because everybody was using it, but they started just doing it all the time. So it became incredibly funny all over again years later. And it's one of those things that you hate it now. They've been doing it for 3 weeks. But if they do it past WrestleMania, by the time WrestleMania is over and they pull it out on the Raw after WrestleMania, I think people actually start fucking getting into it.
It's possible. I'm not sure I'm on the same page with you there, but I could see this happen. Then we had Elias Sampson, baby, do his thing and play out The Miz for The Miz's big return. Crowd was hot. Welcome back chant for The Miz. I have written in my notes here, fuck, what reality is this?
Yeah, well, everybody gets a big pop when they come back at first, and then the week after that, they just, like, usually go to shit. And then they have to rebuild for about 3 months, and then their career is, somewhere in the middle of where it used to be. That's usually what happens, because WWE has no idea how to push people. It's really embarrassing.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. He's coming after the Intercontinental title, which I've written here in my notes is duh. Everyone saw that coming. We got a Balor Club backstage bit, which the highlight of which was Carl Anderson talking about his smoking hot Asian wife. And Luke Gallows agreeing that he has a smoking hot Asian wife.
Correct.
And then we had Enzo Amore's title defense against Cedric Alexander. This was actually pretty decent, and we got an Enzo injury angle where he got counted out because he got his ankle screwed up, and Enzo sells that like a boss.
Yeah, apparently he has like a legit minor injury to it.
Mm-hmm. And this is just prolonging this storyline because they don't really have anything else to do with the 205 title.
Correct.
Enzo gets visited by Nia Jax in the trainer's office. Not really much else to say there. Kurt Angle's on the phone talking with someone who hasn't been in the ring for a while and wants them to come out to the Royal Rumble.
Which could literally be anybody.
Yeah, no shortage of options. They've got
like 11 open spots for the female Royal Rumble.
I think it's 8, although with Paige out it's 9, I believe.
I heard it was 11, but I could be wrong.
The full roster is 22 ladies. That would leave 8 spots.
Roster.
I think they probably will.
They're not putting the champs in there.
Well, not the champs, but 22 without the champs.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I had heard, I know somebody said it was 11, but I don't know why.
I could be 11. It wouldn't surprise me if it's 11, but I believe it's 9. But
we'll they've
still like 1/3 of the Rumble will be like surprise debut / returns.
This is quickly turning into the New Japan Rumble rather than an actual Royal Rumble.
A little bit, yeah.
Which I'm not totally opposed to.
I'm not opposed to it. I'm ready to go with it. The Bar shows up and wants to know why they have no title match tonight after being promised said title match. Angle placates them by giving them a title shot at the Royal Rumble, and they are quite happy with that, but they still want a match tonight.
Yep.
And which I put here, stunning behavior from the heels. It's like they're not complete cowards. It's nice. It's a nice change.
Yeah, they've never been.
No, they've never been, but like too many of the heels in WWE are just cowardly heels. So
I mean, they're the only ones that aren't cowardly heels, really.
You could argue Brock Lesnar is still a heel.
Can you?
I think you can.
That's an interesting argument.
And you could possibly argue that Braun Strowman sometimes is the heel. It kind of depends on who he's feuding with, basically.
Meh. I don't think he's been a heel since he left the Wyatt family.
No. He was after he left the Wyatt family for a bit. There was a pure monster heel period there. Anyways, Angle tells him to head to the ring and he will find them some competition. And the Miz also wants his rematch at the 21st anniversary show, which Angle grants and tells Miz to stop touching him.
Correct. Actually, no, didn't he want his title shot, like, that night?
No. He wanted the 25th anniversary show because that would be a big deal.
I thought that he demanded it, like, instantaneously and then...
No, because you already have the
Royal Rumble.
No, I thought it was... I'm pretty sure it was the 25th anniversary show he wanted it.
I don't... Well,
because I remember Kurt totally agreed with him.
He wanted it on a different day, but then Kurt's like, no, you're going to get it at the 25th anniversary. And he's like, even better.
I'm entirely certain it was his idea.
No, well, I don't know.
Anyways, then we had a bit with Miz and Asuka about how they're partners for the Mixed Match Challenge. I actually rather liked it. So it was fun.
Who is this, sorry?
Miz and Asuka are partners for the Mixed Match Challenge.
I did not like that even a little bit. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, the partnership makes no sense. Which is fine, because, I mean, it's supposed to be a random partnering. I'm okay with some of them not making sense.
Yeah, but then she came out all fangirly and retarded and geeked out and barely could get any English together, and it was
her gimmick is she's not supposed to talk English on the main roster.
Well, fine, I guess, whatever, but that's not the case. She's clearly spoken English many times.
I'm aware that they are breaking their own continuity, but I'm saying on the main roster, she's not supposed to speak English. That's the deal.
She has spoken English on the main roster.
I know.
She's got promos.
This is WWE, sir. We're not supposed to remember anything. We've been through this.
You've taken your badass destroyer of the women's division and made her into a giggly little fangirly.
She's always had a bit of the giggly thing in her.
I was watching some Steve Larson and Steve just said she's just a geek now. She's not cool. She's not dangerous. She's just a little geeky girl.
I don't think I agree. Depends what they do with her from this point on. Please, she needs to kick complete ass in the Mixed Match Challenge. I expect she will not win, but Miz better eat that fucking pin.
That is correct.
Then we had The Bar versus Titus Worldwide with Dana Brooke in full business attire, which is nice.
Goodness gracious, be still my internal organs.
I wasn't heavily into the match.
No, the match was not good.
But I did enjoy the ending. Cesaro getting dumped to the outside, Apollo doing a pretty sweet flip to get away from the bro kick, and Titus gets the roll up. I'm not sure if I actually like Titus Worldwide winning, just because the Bar the Bar is your tag team championship challengers. They should not be jobbing to Titus Worldwide.
That is correct. I'm happy that the Titus Worldwide is now a thing again. That's cool, but why are you clearly jobbing out?
Yeah, you did this. You did something similar to this with SmackDown, and that's how we ended up with the 4-way for the titles, and it kind of made everyone 50-50 booking made everyone kind of weak. I don't want to see you do that with the Raw division as well, because it didn't really work on SmackDown, so I don't know why you would repeat it. So I'm happy Titus Worldwide got a win, but it's over the wrong team.
Yes, I'm happy that they got a win because we got to watch Dana Brooke do the celebration dance, and if you haven't seen the slow-mo gif online, just track that down.
Yeah. Then we got Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar. Basically doesn't like the triple threat. Brock wins anyways, though, is the idea. Kane jumps Brock. We get a brawl backstage, and then Braun Strowman destroys everybody, including the lighting truss, with a grappling hook.
Yeah, it's a good thing that he had his utility belt on, because Braun Man goes nowhere without his utility belt. I think he'll haul out, next week on Raw, he'll haul out some Braunerangs and Ninja Star the shit out of everybody under 170 pounds.
Yeah! It's a cool spot, but why the hell is there a grappling hook?
Yeah, like who's climbing? Who needs to ninja climb up to the rafters? And why aren't there ladders?
Yeah.
Why couldn't they just have Braun, the giant, strong individual, push the whole thing over? Because he's big and strong, like that.
Yeah. Then we had Samoa Joe versus Rhino. This was okay. Joe got the win. Cut a promo about how much Roman paid for his win. And he's going to the Royal Rumble, and he's John Cena's his main target. Plays off of the fun.
No, he ain't, because he broke part of his foot and has been pulled from everything.
Oh, I'm just commenting on the promo, not the actual facts.
Well, that doesn't. Facts are required.
Mm-hmm. And then we had, speaking of our earlier debate about whether Asuka speaks English, we had Alexa Bliss try to stir shit up with Nia Jax and Asuka, only for Nia Jax to basically say, "Do you speak Japanese?" No. And her response is, "Well, Asuka doesn't speak English, so you're lying to me." Which I have written here untrue, like it breaks their continuity, but that's the story they're going with, and
bad promos are bad.
They expect everybody to forget that Asuka speaks English.
It would be one thing if they said Asuka doesn't speak that much English.
Even that wouldn't be true, though, because unlike Nakamura, for example, like Asuka speaks pretty decent, solid English.
Yeah, but if she made you go in and you do the whisper and maybe do the whisper longer than what they did, so it's obvious that there's a lot that Asuka's been saying. And then they do the line, they do the whole thing again, they do the line, and she says, well, Asuka doesn't speak that much English. So she couldn't have said all of the things that you're saying. Yeah. She could have said one or two, but you were implying that the vast majority of what is coming out of your mouth is bullshit, so fuck off. That would have worked perfectly fine.
Then we were going to have an Asuka versus Jobber match, but somehow Nia Jax became the most sneaky person on the planet and got up behind her and destroyed her.
Yeah, that was interesting. Legitimately interesting on how they kind of, from a technical or TV show standpoint, where they use their camera angles to hide things. The crowd wasn't going... Well, they were already going nuts for Asuka, so you didn't really hear the crowd go particularly nuts. On top of that, however, a lot of that's probably Bucky Tooth Beaver fucking with the audio and faking crowd noise.
Probably. And then we had our main event, Balor Club, Champions Club, 6-man tag.
Indeed. It was
I did throw out, I hate to nitpick, but Gallows is not actually part of the original Bullet Club. They're trying to...
I thought it was.
He is not, sir. He joined later on. Your original Bullet Club is Carl Anderson, Finn Balor, Tama Tonga, and Bad Luck Fale.
Whoa.
That's why originally Carl Anderson and Tama Tonga were the tag team.
I did not know that.
Gallows joined later, so it's not important, but that is my nitpick of the day. The match was acceptable. I would have liked better. And of course, Jason Jordan winds up screwing his team over by... He's trying to help Seth Rollins, but he ends up just blinding Rollins to an attack from Balor. Dropkick, coup de grace, gets 3. And the Miztourage beats down Roman Reigns post-match for good measure.
Correct.
So that was Raw. I give it a thumbs in the middle.
It was fine. I don't have an issue with it. It just wasn't. It continues to be never as good as it should be.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on to SmackDown. We open up with Renee Young doing a sit-down interview with AJ Styles in the ring. Basically, he doesn't seem to really want to accuse either authority figure of being playing favorites, but he does say that the match is unfair. And Sammy and KO come in to do their usual thing. Basically, AJ's mouth wrote checks that his body cannot cash, and it will take a miracle for him to retain. And then Shane comes out, doesn't understand Daniel's decision, but he backs him for now. And he makes the main event a 3-on-2 handicap match with Orton and Nakamura. And Daniel Bryan backstage says it's going to be a hell of a match. So this became the theme of the night, and the commentary ran with it to an annoying level.
More Rumble than ever!
Yeah, well, that too. Then we had Becky Lynch versus Ruby Riott. This match took place mostly during commercial. And I don't care that I can still see the match while the commercials are going. It still ruins it for me.
Yeah, I've made it a policy that I just skip those. So the fact that I don't get to see the match is your own goddamn fault because you can't put commercials in correct spots.
Match was pretty decent. Good psychology. Ruby Riott's trying to work over the midsection of Becky, which, if you recall, they slammed the door on to put her out for a while. But she eventually does fall to the disarmor. And then we also got a little bit of a promo that it's going to be Sami Zayn and Becky Lynch for the mixed match challenge. And then we move on to the Ascension versus the Bludgeon Brothers. Ascension probably did actually do the best against the Bludgeon Brothers that anyone has done up until this point by Pearl Harpering them. But eventually the brothers basically destroy Victor, get the pin, and then they have a post-match beatdown of Connor when Connor comes in to check on his tag team partner. And no sign of the Fashion Police helping out their buddies. And they said that they were. Yeah, you know what? I would, if I'm the one booking the show, Fantasy Booking Time, I would do exactly what they did this week, again, next week. And then I would have the Fashion Police finally, grudgingly come down. They have tried to help us out, even though they did it wrong, that kind of thing. And then they come out and they try and save them. And then we have we can have the Fashion Police give them a makeover back to the original Ascension. And then... Oh, please, God. Yeah. And then we can go from there. Rumor is that the Ascension I think their contracts are up this year, so they may just hamscray. I would if I were them. They've been killed on the main roster. You could make so much more money on the indie scene. Then we had a matchup between Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley in the U.S. title tournament with Bobby Roode watching from ringside. Not on commentary, which actually I was happy about. And a relatively short match with Mojo going over, and then he has a bit of a face-off with Bobby Roode, and we also cut to a Jinder Mahal promo talking about his semi-final match with Xavier Woods. And I don't really have anything else to say about that match. Do you? I do not. We find out that Natty Neidhart's going to be partners with Nakamura for the mixed match challenge. She is just very happy not to have gotten Rusev or Sami Zayn as her partner. Yeah, that was a weird kind of shout out. Weird, yeah. The Becky Lynch Zayn thing was also fucking weird. I'm glad that they put the two gingers together. That's funny, but it would have worked better 6 months ago. Yes. Oh, and also great spot by Sammy dressing up. She looked legitimately shocked and surprised. I liked it. Indeed, that was good. Good acting. Either that or she didn't know. Yeah, I'm gonna go until somebody proves me wrong. I'll just assume that was all legit. I think that's funny shit. And then we had the Benjables in the ring for a promo about not winning the tag team titles. They go into some stuff about college football with Alabama and Georgia. I have no idea if that's accurate. I don't watch college football.
Does anybody watch college football?
Apparently a lot of people.
I mean, I thought that high school football, really, that's where the prime of the career is, so they should be watching that.
Daniel Bryan comes out, says the referees represent the management, and the ref's words are final. Thank you, WWE, for pointing out your own inconsistencies, with Shelton Benjamin jumps on.
Yeah, I like that. It was, listen, you just fucked up, and you fucked yourself. Now fucking give us our titles.
Yeah, we get into a thing about feelings, and Shelton Benjamin telling Chad Gable to tell Daniel how you feel, Chad.
I like, these guys are shockingly good promos. I was not, I don't know if I undersold them or forgot, or I don't know, or maybe they just, those two together have way better chemistry than the original American Alpha. But the Lunchables here, they're quite the surprising duo, and I'm enjoying it.
Indeed, it's bringing out a lot of things here. Anyways, we end up with the Daniel Bryan gimmick of watch what you say in front of Daniel Bryan, because he assumes you are serious. Because he loved the idea when Chad Gable says, "What do we have to do? Pin the Usos twice in one night? That's a great idea! 2 out of 3 falls, Royal Rumble."
To be fair, it's been a long time since I saw a 2 out of 3 falls match. They're of course going to fuck it up and do it the worst way possible. They're gonna give these guys. They're gonna give them. I'm gonna set the over under at 5.5 minutes. They will give for a 2 out of 3 falls match that should legit be given 30 or 40 minutes to work out in the ring, especially a tag match.
They will probably give them match. 12 minutes.
We call less than that. 12? Well, I'm saying way less than 12.
No, because they got 7 minutes for their bullshit match on SmackDown.
Well, yeah, I know, and it's a pay-per-view, so they're gonna fuck it up worse than that. They got 2 Royal Rumbles to do. They got an Intercontinental title match, which they'll give way too much time for. I mean,
they don't have an IC one yet, because that's at the 25th anniversary show.
Right. They've got
right now. We got the 2 tag teams. We got the two big titles and the 2 Rumble matches.
They'll probably put the Usos match on the pre-show, give them about 6.5 minutes at most, and waste the rest of the pre-show with just talking heads that no one gives a shit about.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of the current format for the pre-show.
Listen, if you got a pre-show, you should probably pay attention to how the UFC does pre-shows. We don't sit around and watch Joe Rogan just talk to a camera. We watch fights on a UFC pre-show. They're
highlight reels as opposed to per se fights, but yeah.
Well, whatever. So we watch competition, and there happens to be commentary. We don't. If you want to have a pre-show, you got a huge fucking roster that you use almost none of the people of. Maybe fill up that pre-show with actual stuff people want to watch. Just a thought, just an idea. Just putting that out there. Makes actual logical sense. Pull your head out of your fucking ass.
Yep. Gotta get the Sami Zayn in there.
Correct.
AJ Styles, Randy Orton talking strategy backstage, but the strategy basically is we're RKO everything that moves until AJ and KO, or pardon me, Sami and KO wish they'd been fired. Orton tells AJ, "You can trust me tonight. We're on the same page, but I am coming for that title after I win the Royal Rumble." And then Nakamura comes in to Too Sweet the title, and then just go, good talk. Then we had Rusev Day versus the Fashion Police. We got a good Rusev Rumble song. We have a commercial match again, which, again, ugh.
Yep, skipped it. Unfortunately, I skipped it and went and saw. Did they get a roll up on Rusev Day?
Yeah, Fandango rolls up Rusev to get the pin.
Yeah, so I watched the intro and I was good. I watched the first 30, 40 seconds before they went to commercial, and then I skipped the rest and happened to just end on the ending. And no fucking idea if it was a good match or not. I'm assuming that they booked it all wrong and it was probably not any good, despite the fact that you've got 4 of your best workers in there. And, yeah. And I'm of two minds. I'm not sure why they made Rusev Day eat the loss, but I'm happy that the Fashion Police got a win.
Yeah, I'm kind of mixed on this one, kind of like the Bar doing the job to Titus Worldwide, though I am much more okay with this one because Rusev Day isn't going for a title.
Yeah.
And needs something to do, and if it leads to more Tyler Breeze and Fandango versus Rusev Day, I'm okay with it. The match was nothing great, but nothing messed up. The highlight was really Aiden English being surprisingly agile. That's really about it.
Well, I mean, he is a thin individual. I assume he can move.
Mm-hmm. And then we had Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan talking backstage. Basically, they agree to disagree for now, in a nutshell. Shane's concerned that Daniel's making rash decisions, and Daniel says, well, you've been making rash decisions pretty much all the time, so. Yeah.
Correct.
Main event, 3-on-2 handicap matchup. I'm going to briefly talk about the commentary, and then I'm just going to leave it. Saxon and Graves were causing me literal mental pain at this point.
Yes.
Absolutely.
As soon as like, there were some good moments throughout the night where Graves and Saxton were kind of ribbing each other a little bit back and forth, and Phillips, I got a quality "shut up, Phillips" at one point, which was great. I think that was during the Rusev Day song, or right before the Rusev Day song, I think.
I believe you're right.
But as soon as Graves was like, Saxton, I just muted it. I did not listen to a single thing. If you two fucking pussies want to work your way into a shoot, take it outside and slap fight each other until you're both swole in the face. Shut the fuck up and just commentate on the wrestling.
I wish to God it would be that way, but no, Vince loves this sideshow act, I guess. Where
fucking horrible.
Saxton
Even Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report has an article about like Graves' heel antics are becoming a major distraction.
Yeah, I mean it's both of them. I actually fault Saxton more on this one than Graves because we have Saxton as full-blown delusional face, which does not work. Because here's the debate in a nutshell is, why is it okay to have a handicap matchup here and not at the Rumble? And the answer is simple if you're the face, or Byron Saxton in this case. And it's okay here because it's not for a title. This whole idea of co-champions is ridiculous. Just say that and leave it at that. But Saxton is like trying to make it, well, it's okay because they're bullies, because they're bad, because they're... No, that doesn't make it okay.
I have the final and penultimate commentary on the Lunchables and their promo skills. Are you ready?
Go for it. Vince
Russo says they're terrible.
That makes them awesome.
That makes them the best promo in the business. End of fucking list. You can all go home.
Alright, well, we'll talk about the match. This was unfortunately a nothing match, despite the fact that you have your best, I would say, probably 4 of your top 5 workers on the brand. Orton is not... Orton can be good, but has to be kind of forced into being good.
I think they should just give him 63 kilograms of cocaine right before every match.
That might do it. Or some meth.
Just here, we got this blue crystal stuff. It's really awesome. You should try it.
Anyway, Sammy and Kevin try to walk out, but Shane comes out and makes it no DQ. Or makes it no count out. Then they try to get DQ'd with a chair, and it becomes no DQ, and anything goes, which I said when I was watching it. That's redundant as shit.
It's like Universal... what was... Universal Pictures used to be called, like, something... Universal Worldwide. That's what they used to be called. And there's one Mystery Science Theater episode. I think it's actually the movie, Mystery MST3K, the movie. And they straight up say, like, doesn't the fact that it's Universal mean it's global? Like, what's the deal here?
And then we get the match going again. AJ chases Kevin Owens backstage with a chair. Sammy winds up being 2-on-1, gets smashed into the ring post, gets smashed into the steps, gets smashed into the announce table. At this point, I'm with Corey Graves. We've gone off the booking deep end here with Logic. It's terrible. Mm-hmm. And we get an RKO and a Kinshasa to end the night. And much like Raw, you took what was not actually a bad show up until this point and gave me a really turd of a main event. Where the wrestling wasn't very good and the story you told also wasn't very good.
Correct. Yeah, no, I was playing some Sniper Elite 4 while this was on. I had it on my second monitor. And as soon as I muted it, I found that I had missed large chunks of this match because I just was not paying attention. There was nothing going on in that ring that caught my attention, held my attention, anything. I was more interested in using my fictional binoculars to spot enemy soldiers wandering around aimlessly than I was in watching a 2-on-3 handicap match at a main event show in the biggest wrestling promotion in the world.
With 4 people that you're big fans of.
Yeah. Yeah, big fan. So, fix it. Do it better. Stop being the worst in the world.
Yeah.
I literally can't think of a single other promotion in the world that can't have consistently really good matches. TNA notwithstanding, that kind of doesn't count. I'm trying to... Even TNA matches, they're at least interesting. Like, they're not always good. Very rarely are they really good. But they're at least interesting. And they at least have things that I can pay attention to. This just apparently doesn't. So, stop being the worst promotion in the world that happens to be the biggest.
Yeah, it's pretty much a huge freaking waste. And please, can we stop having Byron Saxton be a moron? Please.
Yeah, I mean, stop. He was... As soon as they got him away from JBL and JBL's constant, just relentless, ridiculous abuse, he became kind of cool, fun. He was like, he could be over enthusiastic sometimes. He's obviously the giant shill for the New Day, which recently they threw a pancake in his mouth and Graves laughed himself retarded. It was fantastic. But other than the weird, very, very cheesy shill stuff, he was relaxed. He was fun. He was a cool guy. He just happened to be a little bit preppy, a little bit weird. But he's identifiable. And now he's just not. He's at this point, he's the corporate yes man. I agree with Shane McMahon because Shane McMahon pays my paycheck. Yeah.
If Shane told me the Earth was flat, I would tell you the Earth was flat. Like, that's what we're at.
Yeah, it's unbelievably not good. I don't understand that at all.
Like, that doesn't work for me. The supposed face announcer. It doesn't work. That works with the heel in small doses, but that's it.
Yeah, I just really don't understand how they do all of these things very badly, and I'm not sure how. I'm not sure how they keep up the consistency. That's the mystery. That's the intriguing part. Like, I'm going to tune in again next week because I may find an answer as to how you so consistently have the best wrestlers in the world, the highest production value, the biggest audience, the most reach, the most power, and you can't do any of it right? What?
Yeah.
Question mark? Giant question mark.
Let's roll on to 205 Live, which I think you'd like a little more.
I never bother making notes for Raw and SmackDown because it's 5 hours of my life that I usually spend doing something else while it's on. However, 205 and NXT, I pay attention to because there's usually some compelling fucking shit going on. We started out the 205 alive. I skipped all of the intro, all of the shenanigans, whatever it was. The first 5 to 7 minutes of this is all promos and recaps
Recap shit,
and theme song, and then there's TJ motherfucking P. And I was jacked to the gills to see Grand Metalik come out, and then they kind of interrupted the match with a promo. And it was kind of weird. I don't understand that. My first note on this is fuck me, this should be good. And it just kind of, spoiler alert, it wasn't nearly as good as I thought it could or should be. It started good. Yeah, it started good. It set a tone, and then they just kind of fell off. I don't understand what happened. One of the guys, I can't remember, I think it was Vic Joseph, said, this new side of TJP. And I have written down here, you mean his current and long-running heel persona?
Yeah.
There was a sick shot. He had a Tree of Woe delayed shotgun dropkick, which was fucking sick. Metalik had a great sunset bomb that was perfectly landed. He did not look like he murdered TJP, but it was really impactful, and I enjoyed it. There was a super kick, followed by a reverse sling blade into a springboard shotgun dropkick for good measure, and that was friggin' awesome. There was an interceptor dropkick on Metalik trying to pull off the handspring back elbow. There's a little bit of a botch followed up there. There was a thing where Metalik was over the ropes on the ring apron, and I think TJ peeked charging the corner, and Metalik jumped over the ropes to avoid him, and then TJ turned around to accept what he knew was coming, which was going to be the jumping kick over the top rope, and he set up, and it didn't come. And he stood up straight again, and he reset, and he leaned into it again, and finally Metalik actually threw the kick. It was a lot quicker on camera than it was me describing it, but it was still very noticeable, and I'm not really sure what happened there. Pretty good elbow drop. Metalik got the win, and I think this is his first solo win ever on TV. Is this not true?
He's had a couple of others.
Oh, wow. It must have been last year or, a year and a half ago, because I don't remember him doing anything other than tag matches.
He's picked up a couple wins over the likes of Daivari and Gulak and stuff.
It was just kind of a real anti-climax. They set a real tone. They lost the tone completely during the middle 2/3 of the match.
Yeah, we want tables a chant during the middle of the match.
Yeah, and then there was just kind of there's the finish. All right, I guess, yay, you won. Great. They gave the guy a win.
Which is pretty damn sad, because the match these two had at the Cruiserweight Classic was really, really good.
Yeah. Also, I had noticed at the end, just kind of looking at the details of Grand Metalik's mask, he looks like Shark Boy Negro. If you go back and check his mask pattern out, he looks like Shark Boy but black. To which I have written down, "Give me a shell, yeah."
Shell, yeah.
And then TJP threw a super tantrum that was fantastic, to which I have written down, "Throw all the props, Rick."
Yeah, if you took away the middle of this match, I liked it.
Yeah.
The end was okay, not great, but okay. And the beginning was really, really good. And WWE, please take note of the beginning of the match and replicate that for an entire match, please.
Yeah. I don't know. They just kind of lost. There were moments like the super kick reverse sling blade springboard shotgun dropkick from Metalik was great, but there should have been all of that throughout this entire match. It should not have been a spot. It should have been a continuation of the flow of the match. Not really sure what else to say on that one.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was, but TJP's fucking tantrum was fantastic. I like the fact that he went to, he a couple of times he went to do a thing and it didn't work, and he was so frustrated. I don't know if he was selling the fact that he was frustrated, or I don't know what. Like, he went to tip over the entire announce table, and it wouldn't move. So he kind of stumbled up and got up on top and pitched some shit off the top of it and grabbed, I think it was Nigel's water bottle, and drank like 2 swallows and then dumped it all over everywhere. I think the cameraman said, "It's a good thing you didn't throw it." Something like that. And then later, when he was just leaving, and then he went back and tantrumized the ring steps, and they wouldn't tip over for him, and he had to like push it like 2-3 times before it would go over. It was little things like that I enjoyed. It was pretty good. Then we moved on to Enzo getting them stitches, and then Enzo getting that promo, and he had a line about he's got a great license plate, i.e. the title. So he's thinking about getting a tramp stamp, which got some laughs. And then he said he wanted to get
Ford logo.
Yeah, the Ford logo on his lower back because he's built Ford tough, which I thought was great. There are conflicting opinions on Fords, of course, whether or not they are tough. Some people say not so much. And then Anthony Nice walked in, and he said he wants back into the Zoe train, which is weird. And then he said he wanted to be second in command, which was weirder because then that puts him at direct odds with Andrew Gulak, which makes sense actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, so I anticipated, like, I have a note here about that's kind of it's weird, but I'm willing to see where it goes because it might have like a 2 or 3 fold kind of storyline going on here, which is cool.
Yeah, we still might, I suppose.
Yeah, could happen. And then we had your boy, Gentleman Jack the Ripper, do a little promo. Again, same thing he's been doing for like 2-3 weeks about your boy, Hideous Tatami.
I thought this was notably worse than he'd been previously.
Well, he's run out of material. It's the same thing. He's literally saying the same thing.
Yeah.
And then your boy, Hideous Tatami, came down, gave him a teep keek, and then kind of chased him off, which,
Like, my issue with this is Gentleman Jack's persona, it's supposed to be Jack the Ripper, psycho.
Yeah.
And, it's all about cruelty and everything and being shown the way of cruelty. And, like, it was pretty good when, like, at first he started doing this, when he was, like, he was angry with Tommy, but at the same time, like, aroused at the damage Tommy did to Kendrick.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoyed that, but this was more just, like, poor Brian Kendrick, and I'm like, this does not fit with your sociopathic gimmick. Stop it.
Yeah, it didn't. It's just they're out of material, and of course they've only got 90 or 80,000 writers on staff, so it's impossible to get fresh copy from anybody.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that they would let Hideo put Jack, air quotes, out of commission so that he and Kendrick could come back as a tandem and just like kick the shit out. Give Hideo some success, get him rolling, get him going, and then Kendrick and Jack come back and just kick the shit out of him. And then you've got a promo, then you've got a program. But
that is what I would do, because this program is going nowhere because Jack is entry level material at this point. He's been jobbed out so hard that it doesn't, like, wins over him don't matter, so you're not really building a Tommy up in any way.
No, not at all.
And if you give him some time away, along with Kendrick, perhaps we will actually forget a little bit about their losing streak, and they can come back and actually be badasses. But this whole Gentleman Jack turn has been terribly handled. Like, it has been bad.
I like the character. The character's fantastic.
Oh no, like
they have not done anything else right, which is typical wobbly B. You just can't fucking pull the trigger. It's like if you had a trained military personnel type person, and every time they grabbed a gun, they broke a nail, or they split their fingertip, or they just kind of popped a bone in their hand, and they could never actually do battle with anybody because they were just a walking series of minor fucking injuries that could never get the job done. That's the wobbly bee in a nutshell.
Yeah,
mixed with hatred and spite and backstabbing.
Yeah, it's completely frustrating though, because, like you said, the character and the way Jack can play the character, epic. 2 thumbs up. So behind it, so very, very behind it.
Yeah.
But the booking around it has completely killed the character.
Yeah, it's just, well, whatever. We had a fake Cedric promo, which at first I thought it was I've never seen a fake promo before, so I was just like, wow, this is just generic bullshit. And then Goldust pops on, he's like, oh, that was a great promo, kid. And I was like, oh, they did a fake promo. That's weird. Why would they do that? And Goldust continues to be the best thing on TV.
Goldust is awesome.
That's really all I have to say about that.
Tip my hat to Dustin Runnels. I'll fill in slightly more. Basically, the gist of this is that Cedric should be worried about Enzo talking his way out of things because his mouth is very dangerous. And that, of course, Tony Nese is something he should be focusing on tonight.
Yeah, generic stuff, but Goldie did it great. We had your main event of the evening was Anthony Nice versus Cedric McDonald's or something. I don't know. I never remember his name. I have a note here. I have two notes. It's like, I expect some Goldie / Enzo shenanigans, and also I like that tiger jacket. We had a sick gut wrench slam into the barricade at about a third of the way into the match, I think. And then I got to see a stun gun, which is great. That's some stunning Steve Austin shit that I always enjoy. And then towards the end of the match, we had a sudden invisible sniper knee explosion. So Cedric was obviously injured and dying, possibly had spontaneous gangrene. I don't know. I have my note here says, sudden knee explosion? Trickery. Them possums, though. So he basically suckered him in with a fake injury. Actually, what I thought was really good is he carried the fake injury through all the way into, you got his hand raised, he's limping around, and slowly he decells the injury. So now you know, oh, he was really faking it, like really faking it. But he was still selling the Gutbuster that Nice had delivered to him. Like he was still selling that as a real move. So I thought that was also an excellent touch. Another note here says, I think this might be the 1 millionth loss by all Zo Train members combined.
Pretty much. I enjoyed a little bit more ferocity from Tony Nese, a little more aggression, a little more intensity. Gave the match a little bit of a different feel. I didn't really care for his constantly yelling, "This is for you, Enzo!"
Yeah, I thought it would have been fine if it had a payoff. For instance, he keeps doing it, and eventually your boy Cedric does some shit and catches him off guard while he's busy. But there wasn't any of that, so whatever.
Yeah, I would have, or if you actually had Nese succeed in what he was trying to do and get himself DQ'd. So he loses to Cedric, but, hits him up with a chair or something, fucks him up. Mm-hmm. Actually curries some favor with Enzo, would be the payoff to the whole storyline.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to, there wasn't really a whole lot of sense being made at the end.
And then, we got Enzo and Cedric have a little face-off, and Enzo did a leg sweep on the bad ankle, and hit him with a lumbar check.
Yeah, it was good, and one of the two final notes I have on the match are Enzo always sells like he's 100% dead, R.I.P., and then my final note says, title pillow, OP.
Yep. So, I kind of like the ending, but this could have been a lot better.
Yeah, it could have been. I enjoyed it while it was on, but then as soon as it was over, I can't. If I didn't write down about the thing with the gut wrench side slam into the barricade, I wouldn't remember that either. It just kind of wasn't on par with, shall we say, a Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate.
Indeed.
And moving on to the next XT, we have opened it up with a redistributed area promo, which was kind of meh. It was just like, we're the best. We're going to do things. All right, cool. Enjoy your things that you will do. Opening match was Shayna Baszler versus Dakota Kai. I'm a little confused. Is she the Queen of Spades or the Queen of Horses? What the fuck is with her theme song?
A little bit weird on the theme song.
Is she from Calgary?
No.
Alberta, Canada?
No.
What the fuck?
It's from California.
Well, then they don't even have horses there. They killed them all off in the 1800s.
Yeah, I don't.
So, what the shit?
I was expecting some kind of heavy metal or at least hard rock like thing to it, and you did not get that.
Queen of Spades. License the Ace of Spades. She's instantly over. Boom. Yeah. Also, I think this was a taping in Atlanta, so there was a stage, like a concert stage, right next to the ring. And at no point did anybody utilize that. Spoiler alert. I was a little disappointed. I wanted some weird, like, stage dive shenanigans. That did not happen. Then they cut to this is kind of the week for interrupting matches for promos that you've pre-taped. Doesn't make a lot of sense. They had Shayna Baszler going into the training center, bullying some young lionesses, which I am now calling their trainees. They're trying to show you how to do a chokehold, and Shayna Baszler, hey, let me do it to you. So she goes in there, and of course she's a classic retarded dickhead, and just slaps a full-on rear naked choke on her.
Basically doing the female Minoru Suzuki gimmick.
Yeah, basically. And so she slaps the rear naked choke on her, has it on her, like, it looks, that's a legit choke. The one that she did there in that promo, legit 100%. The problem is that she had it on perfectly, she had it on tight enough, and it really didn't do anything to her opponent. So I have here a good technique, but bad kayfabe.
Yeah. You should have had the girl go out pretty much immediately.
Yes. She even said, like, here, record it so she can see it later. Thus leading me to believe someone going unconscious. And that did not happen. We had, she's up against Dakota Kai. My note here says she's named Dakota and she's from New Zealand. Them some confused parents. Then again, some silly cunts name their kids Paris. Whatever. We open the match with a slow as fuck clothesline from Shayna Baszler. And it was kind of like, you're supposed to duck under this, but you're not moving, so I have to slow down to like 1/8 of a mile an hour so that you're going to make it, so I don't beef you right in the head. It was solid. It was very short, but other than the slow as fuck clothesline, good stuff. And she ended up stomping down on Dakota Kai's arm. Even in slow-mo, that looks horrendous. But it's either she fucked up and everybody's selling it like $1 million, or that was one of the best worked fucking moves I've seen.
I'd say ever. It's the work option, because Dakota Kai on Twitter said she's fine.
Well, fucking keep Dakota Kai off Twitter. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. Oh, well, whatever. So if you watch it, if you haven't seen it, go back or go and watch it. And even the slow-mo, like I said, slow-mo looks fucking deadly. I had my notes that, oh fuck, I think she might have legit fucked up Kai's arm. I really like Shayna's character. The one thing I'm liking the most is the smirks. Like, the crowd kind of, somebody in the crowd said some shit, and she looked at him like, really? Okay, whatever, bitch, watch this. And then did something to Dakota Kai. That happened a couple of times. I think she went in to be another bully and put the chokehold on Dakota Kai. Ember Moon comes down. There's a pointless non-stare down thing that sucked. And one thing that's very apparent when you put Shayna Baszler next to a female wrestler is that Shayna Baszler has actual functional muscles. And should probably never lose a match until she faces, like, Flair, probably.
Well, she's already lost to Kairi Sane, so.
Well, that was a mistake, so you fucked up. Typical wobbly bee. I think it's the fact that, wasn't it the fact that Shayna Baszler hadn't actually signed a goddamn contract? Somebody was so dumb that they were going to make her win the tournament without a contract signed?
That was, I believe, the case. Oh,
God, you people are retarded and bad at business as well as wrestling. Oh, Lord. They're referring, or Moro at least,
they had the same They had the same problem with the Cruiserweight Classic. TJ Perkins wound up winning it, despite the fact that he was not intended to win it until, like, the very end, because they realized, shit, we should probably have the guy who's on contract win it.
Yeah, Kota Ibushi could have been great. Well, no, it could have been the giant dribbling shit. Morrow seems to be referring to the rear naked choke as what I think he's saying is the Kin Food clutch. It's a rear naked choke, dude. You can call it the Mata Leon. I'm down with that.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
I don't know what a Kin Food clutch is. That don't make no sense. And later on, we had Shayna. We had an AOP promo that was great. We got AOP actually speaking and saying things. I think one of the lines was the winners will pay. Something like that. It was like, yeah. Okay, I know what I now know exactly what your tag. If I'd never seen you before, I now know what your tag team is all about. And then we had a backstage promo where Shayna Baszler comes through there's a lot of Shayna Baszler on this. She comes through the curtains, and the interviewer is like, "You just fucked up Dakota Kai," and then Shayna gave her another smirk, which, like, without saying anything out loud, you could read it on her face, like, "Yeah, I kind of did do that, didn't I?" Mm-hmm. And then Regal gets in her face, and she's like, "Yeah, whatever, bitch." Which is not a.
Are we done here?
Yeah, Regal's not a guy you kind of go and do that to, so that should be fun. Next match was Cassius Ohno versus Raul Mendoza. It turns out that Raul is Lucha B-Boy or something. I'm not sure. There was some shitty alt-rap music, and he's wearing B-Boy shorts and a backwards cap, and I didn't understand it.
I have titled here, this is Jobber King versus that young knockout kid. Correct.
We got an authentic ROH handshake. We got a botched Rana. I'm not sure there's some botches in this match. And I can't tell if it's because Mendoza was working so light that Ohno didn't know what he wanted to do, or maybe Ohno was in the wrong position, or maybe Raul Mendoza's just not fucking good at all. We had
with a little of all the above.
Yeah, we had a nice pump kick from Mr. Cassius Hero. What I thought was going to be a vertebreaker, which I was marking out for. Like, vertebreaker! And he turned it into the gory special, and I was like, oh, well, that's cool, too. That's all right. I'm down with that. We had an electric chair stun gun, which was sick as fuck. And then finished the match off with an elbow straight to the back of your skull. That's definitely a match ender. Give you that one.
I enjoyed it. It was a good. It was a good lucha guy versus a bigger guy match. It was fun.
I didn't have any issues with it at all, other than like there was repeated Mendoza going for weird roly things that seemed to take way longer than they should have. And again, not sure if he just wasn't putting any momentum into things, and Cassius Ohno had to go, "Oh, you're trying to do this? Okay, we'll do that." I think that's kind of what was happening.
Maybe.
We had a fake Johnny Wrestling interview that quickly was co-opted by the Velveteen Rabbit, who started running down Johnny Wrestling badly, and I can see this. My note here says, is this leading to a completely unneeded, unnecessary, illogical, and retarded match for the guy who's guaranteed a fucking title shot and has no reason whatsoever to wrestle any matches at all until he gets that guaranteed title shot? I think so.
I would be okay with it if Gargano wins, but God, don't have Dream win, because I'm picturing Andrade Cien Almas versus Velveteen Dream in my head, and it is not good. It is not good.
Oh, no, they'll do it worse than that. They'll have Velveteen Dream beat Johnny Wrestling, and then
have Johnny Wrestling get the title shot, yeah.
And yeah, even though he just lost pointlessly on TV for nothing.
You did miss a Zelina Vega promo, but you know what? I skipped it. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you miss that.
I skipped the shit out of that. Like as soon as Zelina Vega, skip. I don't care. There's nothing you say. She's like the female Miz. There's nothing you say that's credible, and you don't even make it entertaining for me.
That's the thing is, I'm okay. I was okay with the promo until she started going into the. I will not give away my secrets for long-standing success. There is no long-standing success. Stop, please, fucking stop.
She doesn't say anything credible that can even halfway be believed, and she doesn't even make it entertaining. Her accent breaks all the time. There's nothing there. And I'm going to be upfront about this, she's not attractive enough for me to sit through her bullshit. Straight up. There are some people that
There's no one that is attractive enough for me to sit through this level of bullshit.
That's also true. Listen, if I don't even want to watch you say what you're saying, and I don't want to hear you say what you're saying, I'm not going to stick around.
She's miscast as all hell, because she's actually not a bad wrestler, so I don't know why she's just not wrestling.
What I keep being told. I would love to see her wrestle. If you're dating the current TNA champion, you're probably pretty good in the ring, and I'd love to see her wrestle. But whatever. We had a match. They announced this made me very apprehensive because they have announced before their commercial break that they were going to have a match with Large Sullivan, or Large Sullied Man, as I have written down here. And then they went to commercial. And they come back, and Leo Rush is coming out to the ring. I was like, oh, fuck. They're going to bury Leo Rush for his Twitter comment he made like 6 or 8 months ago. Jesus Christ, does it never end for this kid? And it ended up being a good match. I enjoyed it. Leo got to show off his speed and agility in a legit fashion. He got to come back from a big slam into a corner. He got to show himself off a little bit. They didn't just bury him, and that was good. I enjoyed that, and I still don't consider the sidewalk slam a finisher. Get Large Sullivan a real goddamn finisher.
Agreed on pretty much all of the above.
Yeah, I just don't. I do not get it. When we had a Large Sullivan promo, and the crowd started going to what, and then they shut the fuck up quick, fast, and in a hurry. This guy's got charisma enough to shut down the retarded what people. That's some stuff to take note of. And then he starts talking shit and said he wants to fight Big Dano, which I'm also cool with. I think this will be an interesting confrontation.
I'm down with it. Yep. Yeah,
I think it would be good times.
You did miss the Street Profits going into William Regal's office. No. This did have a payoff, though.
Skipped it.
Because next week they got a matchup with AOP, and please God, let AOP destroy them.
I saw the credit title thing afterwards. Yeah, I was happy about that, but I'm not watching the Streetwalkers harass people, and then really, I'm assuming that they're sucking dick trying to get money in between these things, so it's just kind of bad. And I don't mean in a friendly, hey, I'll suck your dick. It's like, no, I really need this bus change. I need, come on, I'll suck your dick. Like, that's what I assume I assume they're at that level. Everybody else seems to love these guys. I don't get it at all. They're horrible. Their promos are bad. They can't do anything in the ring that literally, you give me 2 weeks training, I could do that shit. I mean, the jumping barrel roll splash, soft as shit splash. Dude, I can not hurt somebody doing that. Anyway. We had the pre-distributed Bears beat the shit out of Sanity in the back so they don't have to defend their title. Then they went down to the ring and shocked the cistern and said, hey! Actually, pretty good promo. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fake concern. Was it Fish? Was it Fish or O'Reilly? One of them was like, maybe they forgot. Oh, I could just run up to the roof and remind them.
I think it was O'Reilly that was doing that.
That was great. I enjoyed the shit out of that. Very, very good. Like the cool kids picking on the weird kids. Very nice. But not in a really horrendous way, which was good. Nikki, the fucking Chaos Demon Cross, comes out after Adam Cole said he kicked the chaos out of him, which led me to ask you earlier which Space Marine chapter Adam Cole might be.
Black Templars.
Black Templars. It's racist, but I'll let it pass.
Well, he is black as coal.
My line here says, "Kick the chaos out of him." That's a great fucking. Oh shit! Nikki Cross is fucking pissed. Nikki Cross was trying to eat several referees whole while trying to get at the ring, and she is, quite frankly, the second best thing on TV at all times.
Yeah.
There's
more Nikki Cross, please. More Nikki Cross.
There's Goldust, there's Nikki Cross, and there's a big drop off to third place because I can't think of anybody right now. I'm sure that's not that big a drop off. This incited a huge Nikki Cross chant, and then your boy Regal comes down and said, "You're going to be defending your titles." And then your boy Strong comes out. He says, "Yeah, you are going to be defending your titles." And then your boy Black comes out and he says, "Indeed." And then they go, and then it's on. It's fucking on. And I marked out in a huge way. Huge Aleister Black chant. And it was a damn fun.
Aleister Black would be the third best thing on TV, I guess.
That's possibly true, yeah. Now that they're giving him more time on the mic, he doesn't have to say a whole lot. He just kind of does his thing. My initial thought for the match was, Jesus, Strong just killed a guy. To which later on, I said, Jesus, I think Black just killed a guy. Oh, wait, it's the same guy. How is Fish even alive right now?
Bobby Fish is immortal.
He got, there was a super middle, it went over the middle rope. Strong basically hit the ropes and did a between the ropes shotgun drop kick, or missile drop kick to Fish. That's, Jesus, I don't know how he survived that. Some guy in the crowd is like, "Work him, Roddy!" as soon as he went to stretch somebody's back. My final note, I just kind of watched this match. I didn't really write a whole lot down, which happens when there's really good matches on. My final real note here is, this match is stiff and so am I.
This was a really, really good match. It had pace to it. It had 4 phenomenal workers in it. Working some stuff like you said, I legitimately thought Bobby Fish was dead on multiple occasions. And he is apparently immortal. He is the Highlander. There can only be one, and that is Bobby Fish.
Well, he does have the mustache for it.
This was really good, and then at the end, you told a really good story with Adam Cole coming down to distract Aleister Black, and Black no-selling the elbow was pretty freaking good. Or is that a mating call?
I am very aroused right now.
And chasing him up into the crowd. It works because, frankly, it's not even stupid babyface stuff. Because Black doesn't care about the title, really. He just wants to kill the Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
So that works beautifully. So him and Roddy lose. Belts stay on with a clean pin. They lose to Total Elimination, which they're calling it instead of Chasing the Dragon. Red Dragon gets to keep their titles and gets to look reasonably strong, but at the same time, you definitely have a very legit threat in Black and Strong. If they merge as a team, they could definitely take those belts. And you have Aleister Black, continuing that this is really about him wanting to destroy specifically Adam Cole, but also the Undisputed Era as a whole. Great. This was fantastic. This was the highlight of the week.
The only thing it was missing was some Nikki Cross coming down, because there was a post-match beatdown, and they took out Gargano early, and then they went really after Black, beat the shit out of him. He even did he flip-flopped the Aleister Black, put your foot under his chin and raise him up. So Adam Cole did that to Black, and at that point, I really expected Nikki Cross to hit the ring and tear somebody's dick off and just swing it.
I would have had Nikki Cross come from the crowd when Black was chasing Adam Cole up the stage or up the stairs, because it would have been. I was waiting because they had the bad lighting in the back, the darkness. I was just waiting for Nikki Cross to show up out of the darkness and attack Cole. That would have been great.
Exactly. And then you should have cast Magic Missile at the darkness.
True. Magic Missile does not stop Nikki Cross, though.
Correct. Too many hit points.
Yeah, no, this is really well done. More Nikki Cross would have made it better, but I'm okay with it. You can save that for payoff at TakeOver, maybe. Mm-hmm. This was great. And
then your boy Regal made a lot of appearances on this particular shenanigans. They go through periods of not having him around at all, and then using him a lot during like 1 or 2 episodes. Mm-hmm. I guess leading up to takeovers. Now that I'm thinking about it with my brain, but he came out and he announced that Black and Cole are going to. Their match at the TakeOver will now be no DQ, Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules!
And then Cole seemed like, oh, that's fine. Like, you could see the thought process going through his head. He's like, fuck you! Never mind, that's cool. I'm
good with that, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just bring my friends with me. It's fine. To which my brain I hope that there's a smart face angle on that match where, Nikki Cross comes out and gets massive pop. And Johnny Wrestling as well. And then
Roddy Strong, not Johnny Wrestling.
I'm fine with anything, really. I'm good with either. Yeah, but definitely Roddy Strong. And possibly Kota Ibushi, but probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
If you wanted a third person to work into that, you could... What would be good?
Just anybody from Sanity. Like, bring out Wolf.
It undersells the beating they took, and it wouldn't be Wolf because he's still got the stitches.
How far away is TakeOver? That's going to be not for like 2 weeks, right?
NXT TakeOver. I'll look that up. Fill some time.
Dun, dun, dun. Other news in wrestling. David Otunga has been cleared of all criminal problems, things, but apparently there was an investigation. That's why he hasn't been on TV, is because he was being investigated for beating the shit out of Jennifer Hudson, which didn't apparently ever happen because she's apparently not good at telling the truth.
They're going through a nasty divorce proceeding.
Yeah, just vague. I really didn't read much of it at all. I glossed over everything. What else is going on?
Okay, so we kind of lost this, but Undisputed Era is booked against the Authors of Pain for TakeOver Philly.
Oh,
it's a bit weird with the Authors of Pain. So Authors of Pain going over Street Profits for sure. Then
yeah, Jesus. I'm tuning in next. Week.
It's the 27th that the TakeOver is on.
Oh, that's years away.
The card so far is Andrade Cien Almost versus Johnny Gargano, Black versus Cole, Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler, Undisputed Era versus Authors of Pain, and Lars Sullivan versus Killian Dane or Roderick Strong.
Yeah. So, what do we got here? Somebody speculating about Shayna Baszler outshining Ronda Rousey. That's legit. I don't know anybody who's even remotely interested in watching Ronda Rousey become a pro wrestler. I mean, she's thrown away her MMA career. She threw away her movie career by throwing away her MMA career. Becoming a fake fighter isn't going to help anything.
I think there's a mainstream appeal to it, but I've always said this, is that Ronda Rousey's appeal within hardcore MMA fans, which tend to also be hardcore wrestling fans, by the way, was always kind of low for a long time. Because she always seemed like someone who needed to be treated with very kitty gloves. It was, in my opinion, why she was always still at Glendale with Edmund Tarvidian and stuff, because I swear her like striking problems, for example, was Edmund going, you're really good, really, really, really good, and then like behind her back going, oh god, she's terrible.
Yeah, no, I mean, what was it? It was Chad Mendez, I think, had the same fucking problem. I remember watching 2 or 3 of his fights, and his corner was legitimately telling him, you're totally winning this fight, and he was getting his dick stomped in the dirt. Let's see what else is going on. Your girl Paige apparently has been officially medically retired because her neck is just jacked to the wall. War Machine and Cedric Alexander. Fuck. War Machine and Ricochet. Sorry, that might be a good match. Have officially said their goodbyes, and they're on the way to the I mean, fuck, you should just put him on the main roster right now. Please don't stick War Machine in NXT for like 6 years.
In fairness, I would mark out hard for a War Machine versus Sanity match or a War Machine versus AOP match.
That's correct.
Or Heavy Machinery.
That is also, yeah, I could see one night stand. We get a one night stand in NXT versus Heavy Machinery. I would watch the shit out of that. Somebody asked John Cena about the Bullet Club, and he said, "I don't think they would have me. I'm kind of an old man."
It's good. It's a good comeback.
Yeah, it's a pretty elite club. I don't think they'd have me. Kenny Omega has officially re-signed with NJP Dubs, which is, that was kind of a foregone conclusion. He's not a kind of guy who's going to walk off with the title. On the 12th day of January, 26 years ago, was the infamous Marty Jannetty through the plate glass incident.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of cool. Mark Henry is apparently officially retired, official this time.
He'll be back in 6 months.
Probably. Let's see. Anything else? As hinted earlier, Selena Vega's boyfriend, fiance, husband, what have you, is the now current, not yet shown on TV because of tapings, but apparently TNA spoiled their own shit by just telling the world that Austin Aries is now their new champion. Apparently he showed up, debuted, kicked the shit out of Eli Drake, and took that title.
I'm fine with it.
All in one night.
I'm fine with it.
So, yeah, it's going to be good. There are current rumors. You and I have kind of discussed this a little bit, but WrestleMania is all but confirmed to be your boy Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, which they've already fucked up by not. This should have been a program that you remember last year when they had the Goldberg guy, and he had this amazing program with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
that's not happening this year. They're not doing anything. They'll probably not even, knowing WWE, they'll fuck this up so hard, and not even mention the fact that Roman Reigns will be wrestling Brock Lesnar until like 2 days before WrestleMania, and they're like, "Oh shit, this is the main event. Hey, everybody, come show up." That's the worst case scenario, so that's the most likely outcome. So they're not doing anything whatsoever about a program between the two at all. Nothing.
Yeah.
Not even at the Rumble. They'll probably wait till, Fastlane or Elimination Chamber or some dumb shit. They'll have Roman lose his title in a giant multi-man match, which is dumb.
I assume that they'll just have him lose it due to Miz Taraj interference, frankly.
Yeah, that could probably be. And then, since it doesn't make any sense for him at all to go up against Brock Lesnar, that's exactly what they'll do from a storyline perspective. You giant fucking idiots. The other heavily speculated match at WrestleMania is Cena versus The Undertaker. Undertaker has been backstage a couple of weeks ago at a SmackDown, and he's been more kind of around lately. He is confirmed for the Raw 25th anniversary, which is this week coming up, yes?
I believe that is the case.
Okay, so he's confirmed to be there. I assume, and I think John Cena is also confirmed to be there. So that's heavily, heavily speculated, but in no way confirmed. There is small amounts of talk about New Japan reciprocating to the WWE for the Jericho thing, even though Jericho is completely out of, not under contract. It's still kind of a handshake, touch and go type scenario. So there's not very much talk, but I'm kind of interested to see if New Japan would reciprocate and have somebody do like a one night showing at the Rumble.
Talk of Naito possibly doing it.
Like a Naito, Ishii, like some kind of you'd need to have like a Naito or somebody of that stature, not a champion per se, but a big enough name that people are like, oh shit, it's Naito, or oh shit.
I think Naito is honestly the only one that really works because your other big names all have belts.
Yeah, or they're big names to New Japan fans, but they're not necessarily widely known outside. Like, well, I mean, Cody. You'd know it if Cody showed up, but he's contracted to ROH specifically, so that's not going to work. But yeah, it would be interesting to see if that, or I mean, you could have Kenny Omega show up. People know who the fuck he is, but I don't know if they want to do that with one of their champions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Also, apparently, Jericho's Alpha Club shirts are selling out a Hot Topic like you wouldn't believe.
I imagine so. The only piece of news I have is I believe the Bullet Club show is slated for September 1st.
Correct, which is after Danielson's contract is up with the Wobbly.
I thought it was before, because Danielson's September 27th.
Are you sure? I thought it was supposed to be like summertime.
He's been saying September 27th. Now, there is also the theory that could be a bit of work. That is actually up before then, and that he is going to be on that show. And it is in Chicago, which has brought the ideas that CM Punk will be there.
Yeah, somebody had an article somewhere asking, does the Bullet Club show absolutely have to have Punk and Danielson on there to sell out and sell tickets? To which my response is probably not.
I think one or the other would do it, because you're looking at 10,000 tickets.
If you're looking for guaranteed, yes. Those two, one or both of those names will sell the shit out of your goddamn building. But is it absolutely necessary? Not if they do it right. Not if they actually promote things, unlike the Wobbly Wobbly Bee. Not if they generate, get out there and fucking beat the pavement and get your shit out there. I think they can do it on their own. But, time will tell.
I think you still need to give us some matches that we won't really see anywhere else. Yeah. You want to get some people traveling for this show. Yeah. And I think to do that, you got to give me something more than like things we've already seen. Like, for example, ideas have been thrown around. Young Bucks versus Motor City Machine Guns has been thrown out there. That I don't think would do it. But if you could put Kenny Omega versus Cody in a bit of a Bullet Club boil down, I could be down with that. And then you have CM Punk come in as kind of like a host, like The Rock at WrestleMania. I think you could do 10,000 tickets off of that.
Yeah, I don't question that at all. Apparently, this just came floating across my scrolling around. Apparently, former Pirates pitcher Rinku Singh has been signed to the WWE Performance Center. He's the guy that apparently Disney made the movie $1 Million Arm about, which I don't think anybody actually saw.
It was a reasonably big deal.
So that seems like a giant gimmick and waste of time, and they'll probably release him in 5 or 6 years.
Probably.
With never having put him on TV.
All right, I think we've hit everything on the big stuff.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else.
Yeah, and tune in next week for more when we talk about that. And we got the Rumble coming up. We got TakeOver coming up.
We also have New Beginnings from Japan. There's actually 2 cards that weekend of Rumble weekend. One of which will be your boy Omega defending against... I can't remember. Somebody...
Good to know.
Can't remember. It was Switchblade Jay White.
Yeah, I figured you would go with I figured they would go with Jay White.
Or Switch Teams Jay White, as I like to call him.
Switch Team. Bullet Club Chaos. Bullet Club Chaos. Bullet Club Chaos.
In Japan in 3 weeks.
No, you'll be somehow in Los Ingredibles Day. Apollo.
You'd fit there better, I think.
Probably true, actually. Now that you say it. Aside from being white.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's all we got. Get off of Byron's lawn. Tune in next week.